All right, thank you, Erica. All right, so Joe, do you the main thing I see on for what we're trying to do tonight is figuring out what to do. And I don't know if Holly's going to call in or not, but what to do with the petition. We have a few hundred signatures on a petition that the intention was to send it to, Casey and to me, and ask them to please intercede on our behalf to go to the FAA and not just listen to the normal garbage that they give back, because we know what they're going to say, but to make a push. It's not an inquiry to listen to them say the usual stuff, but it's to say, this is not an acceptable way to do business. And this is happening all around the country. So, the question is, if we have I think it was 350 or something. Judy, do you know more detailed from
last
Holly?
time that I looked, you mean the petition? Yeah, last time I looked, it was like 342.
Okay.
I don't know whether is it still accepting signatures, do you know?
I don't even know that. I was figuring we might have Holly on tonight to fill us in.
Well, I think if she hasn't sent it yet, it probably is.
Okay. So if it hasn't gone anywhere, she said she wanted to discuss it this week. So I'm kind of guessing she still might call in, but she might be thinking the meeting's at 7:30 or something. So
you want me to text her?
Sure. Do you have her number?
Yeah, I do. Okay, I'll text her.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I gotta figure out how to do that without losing you.
Okay. Joe, do you, when we just talked a minute ago, you mentioned having ideas of.
Let me give you an update of an update of kind of what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I've been out of loop for a couple of months, but I now see daylight and I have some time coming up, and I've already started. I'm taking some documents, and I can't remember the acronyms, but they're qualified sources of determining airport capacity and the nuances of what they consider a delay, and all those factors come into determining capacity, and they also come into play in determining airport improvements such as the terminal runway improvements, etc. So I started an outline that I'm going to be filling in this week, and I'm going to send it out and ask people, okay, with the outline, ask people if they have information or interest in any of the sections to help kind of complete the information.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that'll be forthcoming.
Okay. So,
Joe, who would you solicit on that to get that information?
There's a couple of agencies that the FAA has used to, and there's some, again, I'll send you the acronyms. I can't remember the acronyms, SAP 304- something or other. There's some university people involved. The National Science Foundation was involved in it. And I also have a guy, I need to contact him and see if he has information or what his database is. I saw an absolutely fantastic presentation on all of the airports in Europe that this guy did. And so I don't think he'll have any real use for me to use him, but I want to at least find out what did he do, where did he get his information. He had all the takeoffs and landings for all the European airports. He was trying to, I forget exactly what they're trying to do, but it was a phenomenal array of data on all the airports. So I'm going to reach out to him and find out what brought on him to do this study, for who, and what was his data sources, and at least maybe be a source to get information for over here.
Cool.
Joe, can I ask a question? This is Judy Hochner.
Hi, Judy.
Hi. Good. So I understand a little bit, I think, about what you're doing with capacity, the information you're trying to gather. Um, I also think there's a need to understand simply what they've spent, because we think they've spent 13 million in Mercer County money since January 2019, and probably more since, because that was calculated, I think, 6 months ago. And then, the cost of the bond that they're going to take on. I think there's value in just simply understanding what they have spent, even if we don't get a good handle on what the ultimate capacity is, because we could even just use the capacity they say they're going to have and see, what's the return on investment for that. To get a feel for, how long is it, just basically what's the burden that they're putting on Mercer County.
I will reach out to you and let's figure that out, because I think you're on the right track. My idea was to say, okay, here's the capacity, and I guess there's two parts of this. The one before I mentioned about the financial is saying, okay, what is everybody contributing? Forget what Mercer County is doing. It's Mercer County's money, it's the state money, and it's the government money. So
Right.
What's the stewardship of this, all these hundreds of millions of dollars they're spending in terms of what they're building? Well, if they're building the Taj Mahal, well, that's not what they're reporting on. So the financial money that they're getting and what they're going to build tie into the fact that they are so underestimating the air traffic going forward. Why would they spend $300 million if they're only going to have the capacity that they're claiming, 2 or 3% increase? I mean, then why would you spend the money? What you're really doing is, here's the money you spent, and here's the capacity that it's building, and here's what's going to happen to the air traffic in order to support it. And if it's not, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Right, and those are, and that's a good picture to be able to present. But if we are having trouble getting the one in capacity, we would have something of value, I think, if we could at least, alert the consumers.
Well, Judy,
because I don't think they've ever done that. As far as I know, there's certainly never been a cost-benefit analysis, but there's never even been a reckoning of what's the true cost spent at the airport.
Here's how we're going to word it. I'm going to put footnotes and caveats. This is these estimates of information, exactly what you have provided in various emails over the last year and a half. I don't even know if that's the right time frame in terms of source. We went to the budget. We went to ordinances. We went to the planning board, or the Mercer County Improvement Authority. So here's our source, and we're adding it all together. If we're wrong, then correct it, because this is the information we've asked from you, and you refuse to give it to us. So we gather it together from all these different sources. So it's your obligation now to say that we're wrong and prove it.
Good, right. And I guess an arm in that is to try to get the people putting the bill, the taxpayers, to also be informed and alarmed.
I think somewhere along the line, not just this piece of it, but when do we want to put in for a 5-minute, 10-minute presentation, the BOS on the BOS agenda, just to bring this back to light with all the residents who may watch the damn BOS meetings?
It's been so long since we've had a presentation. I mean, John is able to make a sentence or two about, what has gone on, but I think we should be putting something forward to them. And I thought it would be, sort of maybe, I don't know. I was thinking after we sent the letter in with a petition, but we could also say we have this letter. I guess depends how quickly we can get in front of them. To say, we're trying to put this forward to the senators. I don't really expect them to do much. I mean, we can probably get John Lewis to send the letter in to the politicians and then report it back to the board and say, this is what we've been doing. This is where it's going. We know what the FAA's response is, and here's the budgetary impacts. But getting in front of our citizens is fine. I think the issues, I mean, there's not much they can do about Mercer County budgets and all, but
No.
the PFAS issue, the air pollution
but
issues.
Right. If they know about the PFAS, bring that to light, and bring to light at the right time the amount of traffic this is going to be. I don't know how else I don't know how we reach out to the residents.
I'll tell you what occurs to me is maybe if we put this in front of the Board of Supervisors as its own agenda item and sort of advertise that this petition was out there, maybe that would be a way to get the numbers up on the petition, and then ask the board to say, hey, whoever's head of the board this month, could you forward this on to these politicians? Here are the contacts. But maybe getting a little advertising at a Board of Supervisors meeting would rally some people. I don't know how many people actually watch that, but
well, I'm gonna send a note to the township manager. I'll send it tonight and copy three of you. Maybe you can say, okay, what's the count of people who watched the BOS meetings over the last 3 months?
Are you asking me that question?
No. I'm gonna ask it to the township manager or anybody who knows. To say what's the count on people who actually watched the BOS meeting?
Well, they can't actually calculate that because it's on cable and there's no rating system for that. So you would never know the true amount of the people that watched that.
Wouldn't Comcast know?
No, they're not going to know necessarily either. Partially because the type of channel that it is, I don't think that they're tracking the number of viewers, but I could be wrong. But
well,
I'm
then
fairly
here's
certain they may not know.
I will make a call to Comcast tomorrow morning, and I'll find out if they track it, and if they do, how do we get the tracking? But at least I can find out if they have the ability to track it.
So, John, what's the schedule of meetings coming up?
So there's
tomorrow night.
November 3rd, Wednesday, and then November 17th. And there may be supplemental meetings for the budget, and then the first and third week of December. And
could we try to get on the November 3rd agenda?
Election day?
No, it's the day after Election Day. You can't. I can't make any promises. Unfortunately, the chair does not always won't always take suggestions about agenda items. So
okay.
But if you formally,
why don't we just formally ask?
Yeah, if you formally ask and CC me, I'll say that would be ideal. And you can say, listen, we plan to talk for about 5 minutes to update folks on the activities we've taken, the follow-up from the letter that we wrote over the summer, and where we see things going. And then the other element of this too is if you're looking for people to sign a petition, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are other ways to do it social media wise, and I take it many of the folks on the call aren't active Facebook users. And by the way, for the record, I think Facebook is evil, but that's for another discussion. But
I agree. I don't belong.
There are specific groups that are Lower Makefield specific that if someone wanted to say post the petition there and explain a little bit more about what the Trenton Mercer Review Board is doing, that would get engagement. The downside is you may also get people who are happy with airport expansion.
Yep.
And they may be speaking out as well.
Yeah. No, certainly.
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but I think we're at the point where we have to take a unified and very, very strategic or a tactical view of what's going on here. A lot of people like the airport. The Board of Supervisors isn't going to support legal action. The window is winnowing down to nothing. We got to have something that's going to unify people. And this PFAS thing is hot right now. Jump on it, scare people a little bit into saying all we want is a review of what's going to happen. That's a unifying position, I think, that can really drive through, maybe a delay. Joe, with all due respect, no one in Lower Makefield cares about the economic impact on Mercer Trenton.
Well,
That's not going to get their attention. PFAS will, in my opinion.
John, what about who chairs the environmental whatever committee it is for the township? I mean, let's make sure they're on board, that they know about this, and if we have an opportunity, or let's say even you had an opportunity tomorrow night under the supervisor's reports to mention this.
Yeah, so a couple things. One, the PFAS issue is getting some federal traction because there's proposed legislation about dealing with the cleanup that has gotten some attention recently. And because we're an affected area, that would be, it certainly would be a benefit to us to get that cleanup. The drawback is with the PFAS, it's not in Lower Makefield, it's in Trenton Mercer, right? So you really can't say that Lower Makefield people are affected by it.
Except
Of course they are.
With all due respect, John, I disagree with you.
Yeah.
They just announced, the DEP announced that you can't eat any fish you catch out of the Neshaminy Creek. There's a pretty big, broad area,
I agree
down
with you.
here.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, but the PFAS that's in New Jersey, right?
And it's going to be in the river real soon and in our homes before we know it.
Can you hear me? The intake for the Yardley water is downstream of where the PFAS would go down into the river from Trenton. So we would be very much affected if the PFAS gets spread, from the airport through the Naval Warfare Center down the Gold Run Creek right to the Delaware. So that's where the connection to Pennsylvania comes in.
If you can make that case, then yes, definitely. Then you could say if they're disturbing the PFAS as part of the airport reconstruction, and that PFAS can enter the water system, which then would enter the Delaware River, which would impact us, then yes, you could argue that.
Yeah, that is the case. That's the case I made to the news media back in the summer, and it seemed to get some attention. But that's the one. And then I think the thing TTS was promoting, pushing, was the spread of the air pollutants. That no one's looked at the environmental impact of that much air traffic and what it means for a wide area. It's not just the few homes that are being buzzed all the time. It's a wider area that's being affected by the pollution. And, if the numbers go up by the factors that they could, then it does affect the health of a lot of people. So, I mean, that would be part of the push, I think, is to, to say there are health effects associated with these, with this growth, and certainly for the PFAS going in the river. And I think keep it to a couple issues. And I mean, there is an issue that if the FAA is footing a significant part of this bill, that is taxpayer dollars, for everybody. It's not just Mercer County budget. But, until we have a quantitative argument for saying how much of that is the county over there and how much of it is federal dollars, I don't know that that's going to turn any heads.
I'm going to send you an an argument, a very well laid out argument with supporting data on this PFAS issue, and then also some fact sheets for the air emissions issue and the PFAS.
Okay.
So I'll send them to you after the meeting. We're using them to try to get people alerted in the government. So you are free to use them as you want, also to send them to anybody that you think would it explains the issue.
That's great.
And, okay.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Judy, just for your information too, I sent follow-up notes today to the Philadelphia Inquirer writer who wrote the story on PFAS in Warminster. I sent another email to the author of a Washington Post story on a similar subject today, talking about the federal push. And also I saw something with Amy Klobuchar today on Twitter, who is very much in support of what's going on nationally. And she's pushing legislation to mandate PFAS interaction before it hits, or remediation after it hits. And guys, that's my whole point on this thing is they say they're going to address the issue as they come across it. They're going to release that stuff into the water system. It's there already. They're going to loosen it up. It's going to spread to the Delaware. It's going to be in our drinking water, and it's going to be in Philly and in Delaware soon. If this gets out, and who knows? Maybe I'm sure I'm over exaggerating, but I think that's going to get people's attention and force some pressure on these people who give us no transparency at all. And possibly we could get the people that are representing us in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate, off their butts to help us, as well as a very disappointing letter last week I got back from Governor Wolf's office saying that they're not getting involved in a local issue, a federal issue, that's up to the senators. I think that's ridiculous. Josh, Shapiro never got back, John. These guys, they're all running for office, and I'm going to remember that when they go up and ask for my vote again, because it's absurd. There's a lot at stake with these things, and no one's getting off their tails to do a thing about it. So I'm a little frustrated, but I'm a little pissed too.
But Brendan, I read at least the first letter that you wrote. I think it was to the reporter. I thought it was excellent. I'm very clear. You told the problem. You told the issue, and I think we're gonna get some traction in that, perhaps in locally the people who would be affected, because people in the Delaware themselves. So I thought you did a good job with those letters.
Thanks.
I
don't want to leave anything in the back room, Judy.
There's been several articles addressing this. There's been like 19 publications have carried this in the area, including New Jersey Spotlight. So they're watching, they're listening. And it's not as this issue is still being watched by them.
They're not doing anything about it, so we have to get them off their butts to do something about it. In my opinion. But sorry, I'm ranting here, but that's the way I feel.
I guess that's the purpose of the petition.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think it's a good idea to try to get information in front of the Board of Supervisors. I can put in a request to say we'd like 5 minutes on November 3rd to just raise the issue, identify that, there's a petition out there about this, and, to put it on. I don't know if there's a news release in Patch, or, to put out kind of a fact sheet or something of one of these social media locations that you're talking about, John. Maybe pass on.
I have an idea.
What's that?
John, what's if we say that this is a non-political issue, what if we ask the poll workers on election day, we have clipboards with with what the petition is, and ask people if they would care, have to read it and sign the petition.
You're certainly welcome to do that. I mean, if you want to have folks outside of polling places, you can definitely do that if you'd like.
Well, I think you're walking into a mine on that one, Joe.
Yeah,
Right.
the only problem is people really are focused on getting in and out. They're not even happy to see the candidates, let alone me, on election day. But
Yeah, they don't even want the flyers.
but
You're right.
the other question is, you're taking written ones, right? Do you have an online petition where you've got it all coordinated, where you have it together, or no?
Yeah, there is an online petition.
So if you were to take physical signatures, they wouldn't be attached to the online one, right? So that would make it a little bit more difficult for you to.
Got it. Yeah, you're right.
You know,
Again, it was just a thinking.
yeah, that's okay. But the thing about this is, you could, like, once you have this electronically, if you've got the link and you send it to people via, unfortunately, Facebook is the most viral communication method in Lower Makefield, as opposed to, say, Twitter or other channels. But there's no reason why you couldn't post it on the Lower Makefield relevant pages to see if there's people are interested and want to sign.
Well, I've seen another group out here called I think, John, my point is the Yardley Hunt Resident Neighborhood Associate. It's an online thing, and
that uses Nextdoor.
Yeah, there you
That's
go. That's what it
another
is.
social media application. It's focused on local neighborhoods, and you could use Nextdoor as well.
That's what I'm thinking, because there we could put the link.
You can also put the link in the Facebook page, though, too.
That's what I'm saying. You do both.
Yeah.
A 2 or 3 sentence summary says, please go to the website if you want more information, and we appreciate you considering even signing the petition, and here's the link to that also.
Well,
Done.
I think it'd be great. I mean,
Yeah.
Which website are you talking about?
Which what?
What website are you talking about?
It's called Nextdoor, but it's split up into different neighborhoods.
Right, I know that. But you said, here's the link, go to a website. What website were you talking about?
The Jersey website for more information.
But we don't have, for more information, but we don't have, well, I don't know if we have that petition on our website. I think they sent
well, no, it would be a separate link. Here's the link for more information on the issues and the on the airport problems, and here's a link to the petition.
Got it. Okay. Okay. I sometimes wonder, if you're going to ask somebody to sign the petition, whether you not need to give a little bit of education as to the issues. I'm not sure everyone understands the issues, particularly.
No, but that's why the link we're saying here's the link to get the information, and if you agree with the concerns and the problems that could arise, here's the link to sign the petition.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, John, you're right. You're not going to have enough time to. These people are like I know myself. Unless I'm working the polls, I'm flying in and out because I'm either on my way to work or whatever. So you're right. People aren't going to stop and pay any attention to it. But I will get.
Do you have a Facebook account, Joe?
I do not. I've never had a Facebook account.
Okay. Does someone else on the committee have a Facebook account?
well, I'm sure Bram does. And so if we wanted to
Oh,
get
you're
some
right.
we could
And
probably
Holly
get
would have one too. Holly's on, yeah, on Facebook as well,
Right.
I believe.
okay.
There we go.
So I think we could find somebody who could, put in the few sentence thing about what the topic is and why we care and why you should care. And then, like Joe said, a link to this site for information, a link to this site for a petition. People can post on it and say, we love the airport. And, if you're saying, well, we're worried about the air pollution, we're worried about the PFAS in the water, that's not making an argument about the airport. It's it's the argument that everybody should be at least be able to respect, even if somebody wants to fly out of that airport.
And again, we're not trying to shut down the airport. We're trying to make it a good neighbor.
Okay, so
it's like John's neighbor saying, I don't care about John, but I'm going to put up 50-foot, 5,000 watt lights so my kid can play basketball in the driveway. And John says, well, I don't like you to do that. Well, that's tough, John. I don't care if you're my neighbor.
so who will do what? Do we
Right.
recommend this to Holly because she has a Facebook account? Or and so we need to know the Lower Makefield Township. It's just a Facebook page for LMT? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I could talk to Holly and talk to her about which groups are lower LMT specific.
Okay.
So,
Hey, Brendan. Did he go off?
I think you're muted.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, Joe.
Between you, me, and Rich, could we come up with a sometime tomorrow, a 3 or 4 sentence introduction? It has to be short, just to get people to go to the link.
I think Brendan's already written it. When I saw your letter today, I was like, oh, that's pretty compelling. So,
All right, then let's use that. So at least it's a unified message. We have the same message on. I'll contact Nextdoor and get that going, and I'll also call Comcast. If the information is available, I know I can get it. It's just a matter if it's available, but I'll find out. And then John or somebody can contact Holly about Facebook, and we'll just email tomorrow what we've got done.
okay.
Once you open that door of Nextdoor, you're gonna have all sorts of controversy, right?
Why?
I mean, because when we CGS had on their website right before the public comment period in June for the terminal, I think there were 800 people for it, and maybe 800 people against it. There was just a very active back and forth.
And that's okay. If people want to be for it.
Because you got to be ready to, I believe, you got to be ready to counter the misinformation. I think you need to be prepared, because otherwise the misinformation develops a life of its own, and that's the message that people get instead of the one you wanted them to get.
I'm not saying we don't just sign it up and close the thing, but we watch it and I think we would respond to negative to positive comments at why we're doing this, but there could be 200 people that will take the time to click and then click and sign it. I mean, we got 100 people. We don't care. I mean, the person who wants to rally against it and doesn't see the problem, fine, let them rattle about it. But there may be 100 people that will see it and sign the petition.
Yeah,
that's 33% more than I've already signed it.
Right, that would be good. You're right.
Okay, well, let's try a couple of those things to see if we get the count rate up. I'll email the township for the November 3rd, 5 minutes.
yep, and just CC me on that one.
What's that? CCU?
Yeah. So, and you can send it to Kurt and or even all the supervisors. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll send it to all the supervisors.
Yeah. And then Brendan, can you send me your letter as well?
I'm sending it right now, John. I
Awesome.
mean, I just complimented, I'll send it to you, but I complimented the author of the Philly Inquirer story. I said, nice work on the PFAS threat at military bases. Let me throw another one at you. The Trenton Mercer Airport is currently being built with little or no oversight from federal agencies as they are compartmentalizing their projects and claiming there will be no environmental impact from a 5-fold expansion of the current airport. The former military site, TTN, has known PFAS areas which will be disturbed, distributed, and spread throughout the Delaware River Valley as a result of construction. Many folks in New Jersey and PA will be impacted, yet Mercer County and the federal agencies seem intent on one thing, building the airport. Here's an overview of what is at risk from a New Jersey-based group called Trenton Threatened Skies, and I put their link in there. So that's it. I'll forward this right now to you guys so everyone has it. I apologize
thank
I didn't send it to all today. But there's also a great Washington Post story that I in my travels today I saw. Did I forward that to you guys, Rich?
I don't think I saw the Washington Post one.
Okay, I'll get that and dig it up then too. It seems to be really getting traction, and it's justifiable, I think, that it's a big concern.
Sure.
We have to try to offset that. No, I still think that's our best bet because everything else has failed so far.
Yeah, it has. Okay, great.
Before Rich, we go any further, next meetings, I was trying to nail down those. Do we any feedback on that?
Yeah, I was rejected on the things I asked for, and then she said, unless you want to go for a personal, in-person meeting.
Mm-hmm.
John, are we allowed to do just in person, or is it in person and online? Is it a hybrid?
No, you can do it just in
Okay.
person. I've done one of those.
All right.
Your cell phone service is cutting out, John.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we can do an in-person.
Okay.
Brendan, Joe, how do you guys feel about that? Judy?
In person.
I
Okay.
prefer Zoom, but I think it's just an easy to communicate. But I'll do whatever the group agrees.
Okay. I mean, if you don't want to go, then we can try to accommodate that. If you're willing to, if you're in Ocean City or somewhere, the Zoom is a benefit. But Judy, are you willing to participate in person?
Yeah, if I'm here, yes.
Right.
So yes, I would be.
Okay. So yeah, the dates, let's see. I was shooting, I think it was, I didn't want it to be too soon. And unfortunately those dates, let's see here. I had said Monday, November 22nd, that's the Monday before Thanksgiving, and then Monday, December 20th. Was what I had asked for at 7:30, and she said those are all taken. We can let's see. So, and she
John,
said,
are there any dates that are familiar that are good for you?
for me?
No, for John.
Oh,
November 22nd is good because then, you're usually here for Thanksgiving. But
right.
there's no other
Yeah.
time besides 7:30. They can't give us another time that night.
I can look to see if I just need to go back to her schedule. I mean, I reacted to what her schedule was, and apparently a whole bunch of it was already taken. So the schedule wasn't
Got
really
it.
current.
Okay. Or maybe the 23rd too, but
I may be doing that call live from Rutgers, watching Lafayette play Rutgers that night basketball.
Oh, wow. I could
maybe the
schedule those
22nd
dates.
is not it. Maybe the
If not-
23rd or something.
Well, let's see. She had a 6:00 spot. Or you have to pick another date. If you wanted in person, I could schedule you for those dates and times. So if we wanted those Mondays, I figured Tuesday's getting a little close to the holiday and people are coming in.
Right.
So if we did it in person, we could do it Monday at 7:30,
The 22nd?
the 22nd,
I thought
And
she
just-
told you that you couldn't have that.
not on the Zoom.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And I can do both of those dates, both those Mondays right now.
Okay,
I
All
think I
right.
can do it.
Whatever. I just want to make sure we nail down those dates.
yeah. Let me go back to her and ask if we can do those in person. And then, by that point, we should have had some new information about hopefully we will have talked to the board and we would have tried these social media things to see if we can get some more signatures. And at that point, I think we say, all right, who's going to send this? Is this grassroots or is this, we ask John as a supervisor to send it out?
Okay. What was the December date, Rich? Or I'm sorry.
It was, bring it back up. I think it was the 22nd.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
November. was-
Hopefully I will be in Ireland that night
Oh, wow.
visiting our son for
Again?
the first. Here, we're going over for Christmas for first time in 2 years. We've seen him. So
Oh, nice.
we're working around that.
This is Thanksgiving, November 22nd. Thanksgiving.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought you just said December 22nd. I'm sorry.
It's November 22nd and
Mhm.
December 20th. They're
Okay.
both Mondays.
Yeah, I'm out for pretty much both of those dates, but I'll
Okay.
if there's an opportunity to call in, I'll try.
All right. Well, we'll keep in touch with emails to how all this is going and all that. So, with the signatures and that kind of jazz. So, all right. Well, I'll put it out to the group and just let them know that's, and I'll ask Katie if we can have those dates. So,
Hey, Rich, one quick question. The petition what's the format for it being signed right now, in person?
no, I think people are able to do it online.
Okay. So we have to find out where it is online and point people to it.
Right.
Judy,
Well,
do you have,
certainly.
Well, I'm sure Bram has it on their website. I usually look at an email that Holly sent, and I find it there.
Mm-hmm.
That Bram sent, and then it's in there.
Okay.
Is it a change.org petition?
Yes,
Possibly, yeah.
yeah, it is.
Is Facebook on that, John?
No, they don't.
How did they miss that one?
Oh, because that doesn't make a lot of money.
all right. Reminder, airport petition. Okay, here I've got the email. If you haven't done so, please take 2 minutes to sign our Trenton Mercer Airport petition.
Can you forward it to us?
Yep. And all right. On its way.
Very good.
Great.
Okay.
Well, thanks so
Um,
much.
All right. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
Thanks, all.
We have some
Thanks.
homework.
Okay.
We'll work on it. All right. Talk to y'all later.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Great.
Good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.